Peasant Productions presents the massive ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay, kind of lighthearted end of things here. I'm going to kind of explain a little bit about my situation here in Mexico and show you how putting imaging together correctly actually creates the miracle for you. How a miracle is answered, how you formulate the whole idea of what you need and where you're going to go and what's going to happen. Now, the first thing is I'm going to cover kind of the hilarious side of this. Okay, the gods and I got in an argument about where I was at, how I had to use a cafe where the people were literally trying to drive me broke. They were telling people I was a bad person. They were telling people I was a pervert. They were then telling people I was a faggot. They were telling people I was an American and I was too stupid to know anything about Mexicans and how to do business, so don't do business with me. So in a period of 19 months, I had no customers come in and ever stop and actually talk to me about doing business. Nonetheless, I was in there every day spending money in their business and trying to be polite and helpful and showing them things and teaching them things and just out and out busting my ass to be a nice person. Okay, the gods and I got in an argument. The gods finally accepted that, I was quite right. These people weren't going to change because all they could see was the money out of getting me thrown into the streets, and then they would get my personal property. They didn't care that the conditions I was living under was destroying the very equipment that they wanted to acquire from me. I'm currently in the processes of seeing, some of the equipment is pretty badly damaged from being in extremely bad conditions. Okay, not where you keep computers in expensive camera equipment. I have at least one $1,500 lens that now has mold growing in it because I had no way to get it someplace where it wasn't being hit up with moisture. Anyway. Like I said, lighthearted here, okay. I presented the idea that we had to change this whole pattern to the gods. I gave them the thought pattern that, we have to do this, we have to change things, we have to put a new direction on the whole thing, okay. After I found the apartment that I'm in right now, where I'm at, and all of that, after I had already paid my down payment to get myself into this place and started making arrangements to move here and all, I then had to find out where I actually was at so that I could use that to, start telling places and stuff, where I was now located. Okay, I am on Camino Nuevo. The new road, folks. Yes. the total amusement of the spiritual realm having a sense of humor is that, yes, they put me on Camino Nuevo, the new road. So we are on a new road, we are on a new path, we are changing things. Now, I did not tell the gods what they had to do, etc. and all of that. But I let them know that, hey, if I am walking around this town, you're the spiritual realm. You have the ability to have somebody walk up and start talking to me and create a new link that will get me into a place that will get things done. In response to that, they said, okay, but you have to take advantage of this guy over here that's been ripping you off and stealing from you. He's going to rip you off and steal from you more still. But you facilitate the fact that you understand that without letting him know that you're going to do, that you're aware that he's going to do that, and he will play the game of trying to get money from you and get you out talking because he spoke both English and Spanish. He was quite willing to take 50 or 100 pesos from me for walking around town and literally just talking to people about the possibility of having a place to rent. One of the reasons I needed such a person is because even businesses here don't really put much in the way of signage out front. Okay, or if they do, there's a little bit there. But very few places advertise that they are available to rent an apartment. One of the reasons being is, for instance, where I'm at, the man that owns the actual building I'm in, he lives in Chicago. His sister and her husband are the owners of the building a couple of doors down, one building over. They own that building. They have a set of apartments there. They have a hamburger stand where they make hamburgers and other food and stuff. They have apartments that they rent out. They live in the building. They have their garage where they rent to numerous people around in the area stuff. The man, or the next part, there's three different parts to the building I am in. Okay, I'm in A. There's a B, and there's also the 18 itself. The unit that's the actual number is the sister to the guy that owns this place, and the sister to the guy that owns the hamburger place. Okay, so there's family to family here. The woman, that sister, works in the store that is at the end of the block. Again, a couple of doors over, and that guy is family related to these people. These people are related to the person across the street where Alicia lives. They're, I forget what, brother-in-law, something like that. Okay. They are also, the woman across the street is the sister to the woman that owns the building on the other side of the hamburger stand. Okay, so you very quickly understand, I've got this block that's like quite large, a lot of awful tall buildings and fairly nice stuff, but it's all basically one family. So you need to have somebody that talks Spanish and knows people to start the conversations. Okay, so I had to have somebody. And so I had to play the game. I lost a few pesos, no big deal. Nothing of a major amount. But I mean, when you consider the expense of my equipment, yeah, a few pesos, paying the guy 50 or 100 pesos, 50 pesos a day to walk around town with me for several hours at a time was not an issue. Okay. My laptop over there that I use is selling for about 56,000 pesos, folks. Yeah. Okay. So when you consider that I lost 100 pesos to this guy in return for him salvaging 56,000 pesos, I have no issue. I have no problem with him stealing a penny or two from me. But nonetheless, we played the game, and he walked around with me, and Alicia was sitting out on her porch, and she speaks relatively good English. She heard me talking English to this guy. We had walked into the store, who Jorge kind of knew was a member of the family of the block, so he might know if any of the places had anything. They sent me down to the hamburger place. The hamburger place told me that the building next door, which isn't related to anybody as far as I know, but they're still friendly. I forget that guy's name. Juan, I think it is. He has a ranch outside of town, so he's only in town once in a while, but he had a place that he might be able to rent. And so we started this thing going on. Well, Alicia hears, and she, kind of gets involved in the conversation. And at that point, Alicia and I started being friendly to one another, conversation-wise and whatnot. And I started coming back over here to talk because I knew that Jorge and Mina, who are kind of my managers, Mina is the sister to Javier, who actually owns my building. So there's this whole long loop that followed through, and I simply followed the whole trail to get to where I'm at. This place I'm at, it solved the fact that where I was at was moist and wet and had dirt blowing into it every day. I no longer have that. I have peace and quiet. I have room, as you can see. I've got an actual little studio that I'm working in, that I'm doing stuff in. Okay. I have several other rooms, so I have room to get up and walk around and have an actual bedroom. I have an actual kitchen now. I can cook myself food. I can walk in here and sit down and work. I'm just down the street from where the Telmex is at, that is the internet, and I have a big operation store down here at the other end of the block that has the Western Union in it. So there's very definitely an internet system wire running down the road, and there's no problem getting internet put in here, and I now have internet. So I can be working, 18, 20 hours on the internet if I want to, instead of running into a store with a very expensive laptop sitting in front of all of the public trying to do a little bit of stuff and having people look over my shoulder at what I'm doing and all the variations of that. So by allowing myself to describe what I needed, which is an extremely securable building. There's only 2 windows that open up. They have bars over the windows, so you're not going to crawl in through any window. I have 4 locks that I can control between my equipment and that street. Okay? Where before I had 1 piece of chain that kept people out of my room. Okay? Here I'm very secure. Here I have room. I have to admit, cement walls, cement ceiling, I do hear people, scraping the chairs back and forth upstairs. But I don't have to listen to a guy beat the snot out of his kid for being hungry. When you hear somebody tell their kid in Spanish to shut up or I'll really give you something to cry about, believe me, you still understand it as a highly abusive person beating the snot out of their kid for no other reason than the fact that they're not intelligent enough to do anything else. So I remove all of that by stepping into this place, and all I did was tell the spiritual realm, you need this, 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 and this for me to do so. You want me to include this and this because of something that you want me to do in regards to something else going on in my being needed in this town. Therefore, we have to find a place that has all of this. Okay, fine. We have all of that. I have taken the advantage of all of that. I have placed myself out there walking around this town for, I think, about a month. Of numerous times walking around on my own, and numerous times walking around with that other Jorge guy, paying him to help me, wander around and find something. And I literally walked almost all of the immediate vicinity of this 50,000 population town. Okay. Therefore, I not only availed myself to the spiritual realm for a miracle. Okay, the absolute, I needed the miracle, I needed to move. But I also presented that, yes, I would also do the work to apply myself to make that miracle happen. So I held the image in my head of what I needed, with the openness of the idea that, the spiritual realm is going to help me find some place there. I was ornery enough with the spiritual realm that, yes, we started making things happen quickly. At every avenue that the opportunity was there, I took it, and hey, lo and behold, it only took, all in all, it only took about 3 months once we spiritual realm and I agreed that yes, we would do that. It only took a total of about 3 months for me to actually be physically in this building and doing it. So that's why I say, when you understand a miracle and how easy it is actually to apply one and make one happen, yeah, you can do it all the time. You can do it everywhere you want. You can always be making it happen. Okay? It is not that difficult. It is not that hard. And you don't have to go lineaging anybody. You don't have to go to an ancient master.